Hi everyone, this is your math guru. Today we're going to learn how to add mixed numbers with unlike denominators. Please don't forget to click on the like and subscribe button below for more easy to understand math concepts. In our first example, we have 2 3/8 plus 1 1/4. A mixed number is made up of a whole number and a fraction. We can split this up for reference sake. We have 2 plus 3/8 plus 1 plus 1/4. Our whole numbers are 2 and 1, and our fractions are 3/8 and 1/4. If I group them, I'm going to have 2 plus 1, and then I group my fractions, 3/8 plus 1/4. 2 plus 1 here as a whole number will give us 3 plus, we still have our fractions, 3/8 plus 1/4. But if you check our fractions before you can add any fraction, you must make sure that the denominators are the same. But in this question, the denominators are different. How do we make the denominators the same? I have 3/8 plus 1/4. We're going to find our LCD, or our lowest common denominator, which is 8 in this case. How do we make our denominators 8? On the left-hand side, my denominator is already 8, so I leave that fraction. But on the right-hand side, I have 1/4. To change my denominator to 8, I'm going to be multiplying by 2. And for fractions, whatever you do at the bottom, you do at the top. So this will give us, I still have my 3/8, plus 1 times 2 is 2, and 4 times 2 is 8. If I put that back into my question, I have my 3 plus 3/8 plus 2/8. If you check my denominators, now they are the same. So therefore, I'm going to have 3 plus, because my denominators are the same, I have my 8. I add my numerators, which are 3 plus 2. This will give me 3 5/8. Let's look at another example. In this example, I have 1/6 plus 2/3. And like I did earlier, I'm going to split up my mixed numbers. I have 1 plus 1/6 plus 2 plus 2/3. My whole numbers are 2 and 1, and my fractions are 1/6 and 2/3. I'm going to be grouping. I group my whole numbers first. I have my 1 plus 2 as shown, and then I have my fractions, 1/6 plus 2/3. If I check my whole numbers 1 and 2, if I add 1 plus 2, that will give me 3. But if I check my fractions, I'm going to see that my fractions they're different. And because they are different, I will have to, first of all, make the denominators the same before I can add my fractions. How do I make the denominators the same? I have 1/6 plus 2/3. My lowest common denominator, or my LCD, for this question is 6. How do I make my denominator 6? On my left-hand side, my denominator is already 6, so I leave it. On my right-hand side, to make it 6, I'm going to be multiplying both my denominator and my numerator by 2. I'm going to have 1/6 plus 2 times 2, 4 at the bottom, 3 times 2, 6. Now that my denominators are the same, I'm going to slot it in back into my question. I have 1/6 plus 4/6. And if I check, my denominators are now the same. And because they are the same, I'm going to have 3 plus, my denominator is 6. My numerator is 1 plus 4. And therefore, my answer is going to be a 3 whole number, 5/6. In this example, I have 4 2/5 plus 3 1/2. Like I did earlier, that is going to be 4 plus 2/5 plus 3 plus 1/2. Grouping the like terms, I'm going to group my whole numbers. My whole numbers are 4 and 3. And then I group my fractions, 2/5 plus 1/2. my 4 plus 3 will give me 7. And then I have my fractions, 2 over 5 plus 1 over 2. Before I can add my fractions, I need to check if the denominators are the same. And if you check, sorry, I was supposed to write they are different. If you check, I have 5 and 2 as my denominators, and because they are different, I need to make them the same first. How do I make them the same? I have 2 over 5 plus 1 over 2. My LCD, or my lowest common denominator, for 5 and 2 is 10. Therefore, I need to make my denominators 10. On my left-hand side, I have 5 to get to 10. I'm going to multiply my 5 by 2. And whatever I do at the bottom, I do at the top. On my right-hand side, I have 2 as my denominator. To make it 10, I multiply by 5. I do the same thing at the top. That will give me my new sum will be 2 times 2, 4 over 5 times 2, that's 10, plus 1 times 5, 5 over 2 times 5, 10. Now that my denominators are the same, I'm going to slot in back into the question. I have 7 plus 4 over 10 plus 5 over 10. And if I check, my denominators are now the same. Thus, I have 7 plus, putting it under the same denominator, 10, I have 4 plus 5, and this will give me 7 whole number, 9 over 10. Let's look at the last example. In this example, I have 10 2 over 3 plus 7 1 over 7. If I split them up, I have 10 plus 2 over 3 plus 7 plus 1 over 7. My whole numbers are 10 and 7, and my fractions are 2 over 3 plus 1 over 7. If I group them, I'm going to have 10 plus 7, my whole numbers. Then I group my fractions. I'm doing this because I'm adding over 7. 10 plus 7 will give me 17. I still have my fractions 2 over 3 plus 1 over 7. But if you check, my denominators are different, and once my denominators are different, I need to make sure they're the same before I can add. So I have 2 over 3 plus 1 over 7. How do I make them the same? My LCD, or my lowest common denominator, is 21. On my left hand side, to get 21 as my denominator, I need to multiply both the denominator and the numerator by 7. And on my right hand side, to make my 7 21, I need to multiply 7 by 3. And whatever you do at the bottom, you do at the top. This will give you 7 times 2, 14 over 7 times 3, 21, plus 1 times 3, 3, and 7 times 3, 21. If I slot that back into my question, I have 17 plus 14 over 21 plus 3 over 21. And if I check, my denominators are now the same. Thus, I have 17, the same denominator, 21. Then I have 14 plus 3, and this will give me 17. That's 14 plus 3 over 21. Thanks for watching. Bye.